Dear Mom, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm okay, but I have an ongoing issue with the way my brain works. I have a perfectionist mentality that's been stuck with me for decades now. Excuse me. I had a lot of high expectations of myself as a kid. I had good grades, was in Confraternity of Christian Doctrine and Boy Scouts. I don't know what CCD is. Never drank or smoked or hung out with bad kids, just kept trying to be this perfect kid in order to make my parents proud of me. Robbie Q, thank you for the follow. They never forced me to be like that, but they certainly encouraged my good behavior. But maybe it was too much encouragement because now I'm stuck with this need to be perfect at all times with everything I do. I keep myself mute at social events because if I don't say anything, I won't sound stupid. I avoid trying new things because if I try and fail, I won't be perfect. If I need to solve a problem, I don't ask anyone for help because asking for help is a sign of weakness and naturally an imperfection. I often find myself thinking about all the terrible decisions and regrets I've made in my life. I know you're supposed to put the past behind you and think about the future, but most nights I lie on my couch or in bed and I'll randomly think of a time I embarrassed myself in school, or I was mean to a loved one, or told a lie and got caught. I'll start tearing up and finding it hard to control my breathing, kind of like a mini panic attack, I guess. These moments come and go, but mostly occur at night. These are all memories from long ago. Nobody but me thinks about these moments, yet the guilt is still there and it's strong. I know this is the wrong way to think. Time and again, I've been told that I don't have to be perfect, that it's okay to be wrong, to make mistakes. But my brain just can't seem to accept that, and I fear that the older I get, the worse it's going to be. The worst part is when someone says they're proud of me or they congratulate me for something, it feels like a lie. It always feels like a lie. I wish I could convince myself that it was true just once. I don't expect you to have an answer for me, but I just need to let it out instead of keeping it bottled up. Thanks for listening. So I am actually really glad that you spoke up instead of keeping it bottled up. Yeah, I'm recognizing that too. It's the gifted kid to depressed adult pipeline. This is actually way more common of an experience than you probably realize, and there's lots of other people going through this. And I'm going to repeat again, I am not a medical professional. I am not a therapist. I only know my own experience. But I was very similar in a lot of these aspects. I mean, obviously I wasn't in Boy Scouts, but yeah, I had this, like, it didn't help that my parents kind of had us compete against each other. I'm wondering, and again, take this with a grain of salt, I am not a therapist nor a medical professional, but a lot of what you've said also sounds to me like symptoms of ADHD, actually. The hyperfocus, perfectionism, that you don't try things because if you try and fail, that you won't be perfect at it. Not asking for help, thinking asking for help is a sign of weakness. Obsessing over little moments at night, especially. Laying awake at night, beating yourself up for perceived past missteps. All of those sound very much to me like adult ADHD symptoms, or kid ADHD symptoms. But honestly, in this case, I do recommend trying to get an appointment with a therapist and getting a diagnosis at least. Because, and here's the thing too, if you're a perfectionist, I need you to hear me on this. The possibility that you have ADHD and definitely anxiety, medication can help. Now, a lot of people balk at medication, that somehow taking medication would be like some sort of failure, and that sounds like something that you would probably think. So I'm going to head you off right now. I'm going to cut that thinking off right now. If you need glasses, does anybody give anyone a hard time for having to wear glasses? Really? It's an aid that helps you live a better life, right? In fact, glasses are a disability aid, but it's very normalized and it's fine. And like, nobody cares if you wear glasses, right? Lots of us wear glasses. It's totally normal, right? Taking medications for things like ADHD and anxiety are not a failure. Think of them as an aid, like glasses are. Okay? If you have to take medications, it's not a failure. You know? You want to wear glasses? You can get glasses. Nova, go to Zenny Optical online. You can get glasses with no prescription, lots of cute ones. But a lot of people seem to think that like going to a therapist is a failure. No, it's not. It's like a doctor checkup. You're supposed to get checkups. Going to a therapist or psychiatrist is just a mental health checkup. It's not a failure. Needing therapy is not a failure. It's a health checkup. Okay? Needing medications, not a failure. It's just an aid that helps you live a better life. That helps you live, it helps make your life easier. It is not a failure. So I want to make that very clear. But a lot of the things that you said that you've been going through from when you were a child to now, I actually went through a lot of that too. In my experience, it didn't get better for me until I was, how old was I? I think I finally went to a therapist and got help when I was 30. 30 years old. I'm 37 now. My last 7 years of life have been so much easier to bear than the 30 years that came before it. Because I needed to be on medication for anxiety and depression. And so I'm much better now. So the perfectionism and the needing to be perfect and things like that, especially like the perfect behavior from a child, I think is one of the lesser known symptoms of ADHD. But you definitely sound like you at least have anxiety, that you've had chronic anxiety, which has long-term effects on your health, your physical health. So please find a therapist, find a psychiatrist, talk to them about your experiences, have them do tests to diagnose if there's an issue. Yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing with medications at all, but I do think that at least talking to a therapist, even if you don't actually have anxiety, like clinical anxiety or ADHD, you need to talk to someone. And asking for help is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's incredibly difficult to finally ask for help. It's incredibly difficult to say you need help. It's actually a very, very brave thing to do. It is not a weakness. Most people are too afraid to do it. It's actually takes a lot of strength to admit you need help. Not a weakness. It's the opposite. Asking for help is a sign of strength. So, don't suffer alone. Don't suffer alone. And if it's too difficult for you to do it, if you have someone that you trust, ask them for help, to get the help, to find a therapist, that kind of stuff. I think you might be surprised how many people have a therapist they can recommend. So, not a weakness to ask for help. But going to a therapist and getting that mental health checkup, I think will do you a lot of good. They can do stuff like, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's kind of it's like tools. It's like different like thinking exercises, so that if you find yourself dwelling on the past at night and it's keeping you up, they'll teach you ways to break that habit and get past it so you can sleep. Yeah, it's good to have a therapist on retainer. It's good to have checkups. Come on, guys. Mental health is health. But I'm really seeing signs that there's something else going on. I'm definitely seeing anxiety. So I would find a therapist. I think that would do you the most good. Just talking to somebody. But yeah, ask about seeing if there's some sort of diagnosis. Because I don't know how old you are, but I know that you don't want to live like that the rest of your life. It's going to be exhausting. You're probably already exhausted. If what you've been doing isn't working, then you need to try something different. My recommendation would be find a professional therapist or psychiatrist to talk to. Even if it's just getting out everything that you've been harboring inside to this person. But asking for help is not a sign of weakness, and going to therapy is not a sign of weakness either. So that's my recommendation in this case. And when someone says they're proud of you or that they congratulate you for something, it's because you deserve it. Okay? You might feel like it's a lie, but no, you deserve it. You're being congratulated because you deserve it. They're proud of you because you deserve it. Okay? Mother knows best, okay? You deserve to be congratulated for how awesome you are.